Let me ask you something honestly. If your guru stopped teaching tomorrow, would your musical growth stop? Well, many students believe that without a constant guidance, progress is impossible. But in Indian classical music, real growth happens in solitude. Today, I want to share how I designed my own learning journey, how YouTube, interviews, workshop, and deep listening became my silent teachers. This is not about shortcuts, this is about responsibility. Hello everyone. Many people feel that Indian classical music cannot be learned online. It's too deep. It needs a guru sitting in front of you. And honestly, they're not completely wrong. A guru is important. A teacher corrects you, shapes you, protects you from the mistakes you don't even know you are making. But let me ask you something gently. Does growth happen only in front of a teacher? Or does it happen in those quiet hours when you sit alone and struggle with one phrase in a music, one note, or one raga? That part is the self learning. And today, I want to share something very personal. A large part of my musical expansion, it has happened through what I lovingly call YouTube University. Well, no drama, no shortcut, no overnight magic, just slow, sincere, and self study, which I would like to share with all of you. Well, in olden times, there was a limited access to knowledge. Listening to the artists from different gharanas, it was also rare because the concerts they used to happen very rarely. So knowledge was kind of guarded. Travel was needed if you want to understand or learn new things. Opportunities were also very few. But today we are flooded with information. Thousands of concerts, hundreds of interviews, and lot of content which is available on the YouTube. Also the workshops, the lecture demonstrations, what not, right? And still, many students they feel stuck. Why? Because the information is not in the same direction. So let me tell you what has worked for me and how I developed my musical understanding, knowledge, and all other videos which I was sharing by now. How did I learn all that? So let me share this with all of you so that you can also start learning on your own. Well, like most of others, or maybe all of you, my music education, that is the classical music, the foundational education, is started in my school days through the Gandharva Mahavidyalaya exams. But real growth, it started when I began serious listening. Yeah, listening. That is very essential and not the casual listening. I am talking about focus listening. Well, I was listening mostly to Khayal, that is Hindustani classical music, initially, and also Dhrupad, because that was most accessible to me at that time. But over the period of time, I also started exploring different gharanas on YouTube when I started understanding about the gharana systems. So then I also attended live concerts. I tried to understand how different artists from different gharana they exist. What are the different gharanas? What are these styles? So Gwalior gharana, Jaipur gharana, Kirana gharana, Agra, Mewati gharana. Well, at that time, all this was very new to me. But slowly, I started understanding all that and I started exploring myself on the YouTube as well. Initially, I could not feel any differences. Like what is the difference between Kirana gharana and Gwalior gharana? I had no clue. But it was just like tasting new things or tasting new food, knowing different flavors which are different. But I was not knowing why. How are they different? But that curiosity only it pushed me further and I started exploring more and more through internet. Well, what if I tell you that you all have opportunity to learn from the maestros for free? Am I joking? No. Honestly speaking, I have learnt it. How? Well, I started watching the lecture demonstrations and interviews of all these great artists on YouTube. Artists like Vidushi Veena Sahasrabudheji, Dr. Vikas Kashalkar, Pandit Satyashil Deshpande. There are different interviews and lecture demonstrations available on YouTube from different artists. So, when they explained the characteristics of the gharanas, which I was just talking about, when they told, that time I started understanding all those differences which were not at all clear to me in the beginning. Then suddenly I started understanding, oh, this is why Kirana Gharana sounds meditative. These are the characteristics aspects of Kirana Gharana. The slow development of the swaras one after the other. And then, oh, this is why Jaipur feels architecturally complex. That is the core element of development of the Jaipur Gayaki. So that clarity did not come from the random listening to the artists, but it came from the guided listening. And what was that? That was when I started listening to the interviews or the lecture demonstrations of these artists, when they talked about different characteristics elements of these gharanas, that time I started understanding. Then when I was listening to these artists, I started correlating. Oh, see, this is the particular phrase, or this was the part which it was taught in the interview or in the lecture demonstration. And that is how I started developing my understanding, or I was getting more deeper understanding of a particular, I will say subject, but that is like a gharana style in this particular aspect. So that is how the things started changing from me, which was earlier just something like a curiosity, started converting into the knowledge and understanding. Then I asked myself, if I want to understand the Indian classical music deeply, why to stop at one particular style? So I explored Dhrupad along with the Khayal and also the Carnatic classical music. So I listened to artists like Pandit Kumar Gandharvaji, Uday Bhavalkarji and in Carnatic style, T.M. Krishna and so many others. Well, you have a lot of content available today on YouTube. So we just need to explore more. Just, I know it might sound messy in the beginning, but just pull out one particular thread and then take help of that thread. It will guide you automatically. That's what exactly happened with me as well. From one video to other video, next video, that is how you get clues and like someone just guides you. So we have to keep the desire to learn more and more and more deeper. So once I started understanding, so I there lot of lectures and interviews, discussions, music discussions are also available online. Like thanks to all those who are posting it. Really, the interviews they were just like gold mines. Sometimes an artist would casually say one sentence about a Riyaz, like in say 1 hour interview, one short sentence, like couple of lines, maybe 1 minute or so, one demonstration, maybe one technique. But that is what I used to capture. I used to take notes and then I used to practice that particular thing, try to achieve it myself, what they were talking about. So then slowly it started changing my musical understanding as well as I could sense the development in my own music, my own vocal practice as well. Now, today we have access. It was different from the earlier times when the music or the what we call Vidya, it was protected. But this access today, if we want to take it seriously ahead, it requires some maturity. So if we listen to 10 people blindly, we will get confused. We will not understand what is the difference, how to or how to take it ahead. So take help of these interviews, these workshops, then various artists. Sometimes it is very short. Sometimes I know. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes we feel that okay, for 1 hour I was listening and I did not get anything. But it's not like that. Very small things. Sometimes they are just for, as I said, for just a minute or so in a 1 hour interview, but those are very important things. Sometimes they say it, like not sometimes, I would say many times artists say it, how to learn, what to learn, everything. So we just need to capture that. We have to listen to it with intention, with focus, and definitely our music, our understanding and knowledge will grow. I have experienced it myself. Now, I was also talking about the workshops. So, I watched workshops, I mean, the recordings of the workshops of Pandit Ajay Chakravarti ji, Bundesha Brothers, Vidwan T.M. Krishna, and Vidushi Veena Sahasrabuddhe ji, Pandit K.G. Ginde, so many. It's available on YouTube. We just need to explore it. Whenever I found a useful technique, I just wrote it down. I maintain notes, then I practice them regularly, at least say once a week or whatever, but focus practice with that particular technique which they talked about. I tried to understand it myself. It was not just for a week or so. Slowly it took time for me to understand first what they were saying, then actually kind of absorbing it and then get reflecting it into my own music. So it took time. For example, I understood lot of aspects of Merukhand technique while studying uh, ideas connected to Ustad Amir Khan's Gaiki, and it was from the videos of his disciple Pandit Amarnath. So he talked about key aspects of Ustad Amir Khan's Gaiki, and that time he demonstrated this particular Merukhand system. It was very useful for me. Of course, it took me quite a long time to understand it, practice it, get hold on it. But that was the point, and I stick to that point. Then I understood the intricacies of Vidushi Kishori Amonkarji's Gaiki by listening to the lecture demonstrations of her disciples, Vidushi Nandini Bedekarji, Padma Talwalkarji. They are available on YouTube. So that time I started understanding how this artist has become so great. What are the key areas of his gaiki or the style? Then I tried to not mimic it, but understand it and understand the core principles and then try to reflect them in my own music. You know, the changes are never dramatic. They are very silent, slow. But real growth in classical music is always silent, and if we stick to it consistently, definitely it will reflect in our own music, our own knowledge, understanding, and performance. Another source of free knowledge for Indian classical music are different channels, like the teaching channels, which give us a lot of information and knowledge about different aspects of Indian classical music. Well, there are structured channels as well, which genuinely put the contents. Like there is Raga tutorials, very unique channel, and there is a lot of content available on this particular channel. Then there is Anahat Studio, Swaraswamy, Anul Chatterjee, who is disciple of Pandit Ajay Chakravarti ji, has his own channel and he also posts very good videos. So I was learning from all these channels. I did not stick to one particular channel like you might stick to if you like to, but I will tell you what I learned from different channels. So for example, from Raga tutorials, I learned mainly about different types of dance, how to develop dance, the logic behind dance, a vistar of a rag in alap and other parts. So that was the key things which I learned. Then lay and tal clarity that I got from lot of videos of Anil Chatterjee. Also about visualization techniques. He taught me. I mean, he did not. Uh, I mean, it was not in that particular sense, but I learned it, and that is what I'm telling you. You can also learn it. So since I had already learned from Shruti Nandan, which is the institute by Pandit Ajay Chakravarti ji, I used to take online classes. Of course, they were not one-to-one classes. It was like very same thing. Uh, he used to teach over there, and the video used to be broadcasted. But because of that, I could easily connect to Anil Chatterjee's videos. It was more, it deepened my understanding because he was explaining from the foundational level as well. So without institutional training also, what I want to say that we can learn. It's not necessary that we have to go to a particular system and learn, but having discipline ourselves is essential. Just because there is no system, if we don't discipline our learning, then there will not be any use. So the key is discipline. Now let me share a key principle with all of you. Please listen to it carefully. This is what I have understood over past so many years. No teacher is perfect and no artist is complete. And that is perfectly okay. I learned from many people. I took what resonated deeply with my own understanding or my own interest or how I felt about it. I practiced that to strengthen my own music and respectfully left what did not suit me or what did not suit my temperament. You don't need to criticize anyone, any particular artist, any guru. You don't need to argue with their methods because they have their own system. And if you follow the system perfectly, it will also give the result. But if you don't have that option, if you are learning on your own, then just pick up what suits you, what resonates with your own understanding to develop your own music. Just quietly build your own clarity. That maturity is very important while doing the self learning. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when we are learning from so many different sources, there is always a risk of getting it or trapping into that particular mess of confusion. So, if you want to do this seriously, you have to categorize your study. So, how I categorized all this, like videos, everything. Of course, it did not happen in one day because the videos they were coming to me one after the other, not at one time, but gradually I did that. So I categorized them into say music theory, videos and lessons, then vocal techniques, Riyaz techniques, then listening to the concerts part, Raga specific studies. Lot of material is available online, not in the form of the videos, but also like the text material which is available. So about the rag, the structure of the rag, elements of the rag, various characteristics of the rag. Then again the another category was artist interviews and also the lecture demonstrations. So I categorized that. I developed my own systematic plan. I designed it. You can also design your monthly systematic learning plan. So for example, a particular month only one raga, or listen to five different artists, study the theory, maybe practicing a particular aspect which is like a Raga Vistar or like a Than patterns, whatever it could be. Smaller step, but consistency beats intensity. Believe me. You can also watch my video on 7 types of Riyaz techniques and how to plan your Riyaz over a week or a month for more assistance. I have given the link in the description of this video as well. Now today when I look back, I have watched more than 500 videos. So there were so many sources from where I collected my knowledge. Apart from my regular teaching, like every weekend I used to take the music classes from my teacher. This whatever I am talking is apart from that. Plus apart from my daily Riyaz practice. Okay, so this is all about the learning experience. So when I look back, when I see what I got from all these say 500 plus videos, it was, of course it took few years to get that knowledge, to understand it, digest it, and then reflect it into my own music. One video led to another, one idea opened the other door in that way. But when I look back, I can see that all this knowledge, it covered almost the syllabus of BA or MA music. I actually went to the websites of a couple of universities, downloaded the syllabus of BA and MA music, and I realized that whatever I got from these videos, almost it is covered in their syllabus. So that was a great realization. This was a result of sincere self-learning, and you can also do that without chasing for a degree. This realization was actually humbling, and honestly speaking, you can also do it without going through any particular set system like a university degree or any other particular foundation system, but you can also learn it. Of course, it takes efforts, but believe me, the results are very promising. Now, at the end, please understand this clearly. A guru is important, feedback is necessary, but if we completely depend on our teacher, our growth will be slow. In our Indian tradition, Swadhyaya, that is self-learning or self-study, has always been respected and given a lot of importance. So, sitting alone, reflecting, listening deeply, practicing with honesty, and being grateful about what all we are getting, all this is necessary. I am giving the links of different online resources in the description below from where I have learned, so that you will save your time in searching these videos to some extent. Well, in one of the Marathi musical drama, there is a great dialogue which actually reflects all this what I was saying or we were discussing. Let me try to translate it in English. It says, in this world, in real sense, no one teaches other. Everyone learns on their own. But then, what is the role of a guru? Well, guru just shows a closest path, but student has to walk on it. So, please start walking and put efforts to learn on your own. Self-learning is very, very important and essential. And I am there to help you with whatever I have learned in my journey. If you are interested to go deeper, please check out my course details on Sangeet Shastra. I have consolidated all my learnings in this particular course. You can find the link for the same in the description below. Now, lastly, I am deeply grateful to all the artists and teachers who shared their knowledge freely online through YouTube, through website, and maybe all others who helped in sharing that knowledge freely for all of us. If these videos they gave you a very small direction, And this particular video, what I'm talking about, if it helps you, I think you should start today. Don't think about mastery from beginning. Just take one raga, one concept, or one artist and just begin your journey. We have to start the journey and put consistent, sincere efforts. Believe me, music rewards sincerity.